Being compliant is just straightforward. Being maliciously compliant? Well, that's another story. Welcome to this episode of Malicious Compliance. Our first one is from Galway Guy 24. Years ago, I moved into a new apartment while studying abroad. The landlord was, well, let's just say he was a real shark. The guy had a dozen properties rented out to students and a reputation for squeezing every last penny out of his tenants. By coincidence, I ended up dating a fellow student who happened to rent from him in the next building over and who moved out 6 months in. So I had advance warning of what to expect on move-out day. When she moved out, she had broken a single plate and lost a fork. So somehow got charged for an entire new matching set of plates and cutlery. She even replaced the plate and fork herself, but that wasn't good enough for Mr. Sharklord. No, he insisted on billing her for a full brand new set. Of course, she learned later from her ex-flatmate that he only replaced the missing items and pocketed the difference. Imagine the profit accumulating over the years over a dozen apartments, when every student you charge the price of a new set, but actually only buy one replacement set for one fork here, one glass there, pocketing the difference. Not just shady, but utterly petty. Now, when myself and my best friend had moved in, landlord proudly tells us about the brand new mattresses in our rooms. A year later, when my friend was moving out, we did a massive deep clean, left the place sparkling, and made sure to replace anything missing. But of course, during the inspection, the landlord found issues. Surprise, surprise, he deducted and withheld my friend's entire deposit, mostly on the basis of the mattress being slightly stained and needing replacement. My friend was understandably fuming, but then we had a thought. If he was charging us for a new mattress, then my friend had technically just paid for this one, so technically it was his. And equally technically, it just wouldn't be considerate to leave personal belongings cluttering up the landlord's apartment after he moved out, would it? Moving out means moving out. He couldn't take the mattress on the plane, obviously, so we hauled it down to a nearby park where some local homeless people hung out and donated it. Fast forward a few days, I'm still in the apartment and about to move out shortly. My friend's already gone, and I hear the landlord arrive to show the room to a new tenant. I hear the bedroom door and then rage.
Where the fuck is the mattress? I have to fucking buy a new one?
I almost lost it right there, but I held my composure, played dumb, and listened to him fume. And a few days later, when it was my turn to leave, I knew I was getting nothing back from my deposit, and I too was going to take all of my personal belongings with me. So I took everything I had paid for, the mattress, plates, cutlery, glasses, even the light bulbs. The friendly neighborhood hobos made out like kings. That's a great way to comply because, technically, yeah, if the landlord's gonna be a shark like that and charge you for all those things, then technically you bought them. And it just goes to show that the money that they are in fact taking to, quote, replace those things actually now has to go to replacements and not their pocket. This next one is by Pool of Cheddar. We had this coworker on our team. The best way to describe him is to use a Homer Simpson line. Everyone says they have to work a lot harder when I'm around. Projects given to him usually were not completed correctly, not entirely completed, or not even worked on at all. He violated security protocols, gave out equipment to other departments, and would occasionally disappear for hours. He would always have someone else to blame for his problems, contractors, staff in other departments, but the last straw for the rest of us was when he tried to throw his own team under the bus. We all knew he was skating by because we'd fix his mistakes to keep everything else running. And admittedly, it's hard to get fired from a state job. But after blaming us and having to hear about it, that was the last straw. So the rest of us on the team stopped helping him, and we stopped fixing his mistakes. He wasn't making obvious mistakes before. Now they were obvious. The mistakes were piling up, and fast. We would collaborate with him only down to the bare minimum. He had no reason to blame us if our contributions to a project were completed and his weren't. And then came the kiss of death. He took a week off. With him not around, everything that piled up started getting completed by the rest of us. New tasks were completed on top of that, and on time. Even my boss could not ignore the simple fact that the place ran smoother without him around. After he returned, everything started piling back up again. So we came into work a couple weeks ago and it was announced that he had left the organization. Not one person was surprised. The thing that amazes me about this whole thing is that nobody coordinated it. None of us hatched a plan. We all just individually decided that enough was enough. You want it obvious, you got it. It is impressive how much it takes to get fired for some people. My last two jobs both featured a teammate who essentially collected a paycheck and did nothing in return. At least my manager here had the balls to do what was needed. It's also amazing that in the end, there's less work to do with him gone because tasks don't need to be done twice anymore. I think every single job has a person just like this, that they're literally a burden to the entire company, the rest of whatever teams they're on, any teams they coordinate with, because they literally just don't do things, and if they do things, they don't do them right, thus screwing everybody over in the end. And our final one is from Maleficent Way 8694. A few years ago now, I worked as a nurse in Wales. There was a junior sister there who was an odd woman. She would openly bully a couple of the staff members by telling them to do a faster handover by entering the room several times during said handover to tell them to be quicker, until she was told that they would be a lot quicker if they hadn't been made to stop several times during their report. I didn't drive at the time, so I had to take the bus. One early shift, the bus was a bit late, which made me 5 minutes late to the start of the shift. I was told by junior sister that I would need to make up the 5 minutes off my 20-minute coffee break or work an additional 5 minutes at the end of my shift. When I started to voice my annoyance at being punished for something out of my control, I was told, "Your working hours are from 7:30 to 3 o'clock with one 20-minute break." I chose to deduct the 5 minutes from my already short break, as leaving 5 minutes late would leave me late for my bus home. A few shifts later, I was getting on with my work and had a few care plans to rewrite. At the time, all notes were handwritten. As I had been a bit frosty with junior sister, just keeping any conversations strictly professional, I sat down to start rewriting said care plans. Junior sister asked if I wanted a hand, to which I replied, "If you would like to, thank you." To which she picked up a bunch and went into her office. Cue malicious compliance. Bang on 3 p.m., I packed up my things, grabbed my coat, and made a point of saying goodbye to junior sister. She looked up from her desk and asked me where I was going, to which I responded, "Home." She said she was still writing my care plans and would I write a couple so she can get them done quicker. "Yes, you guessed it," I replied with, "My working hours are from 7:30 till 3. I get no leeway when my bus is late, so I will no longer be staying after my shift is finished. I will just hand over any outstanding jobs to the next shift." To which I walked off. I would like to say the look on her face was priceless, but I had already left the ward and didn't see. So worth losing 5 minutes to not be able to finish my food on my break. Considering the junior sister here made such a big deal about the working hours and 5 minutes, it's just seeing this is absolutely beautiful. I don't know how they can get in any form of trouble whatsoever because they're simply complying with what they were told earlier, albeit a little maliciously. Alright, that's enough maliciousness for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Malicious Compliance. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.